Hi, this is Dana, and I will do another video talking about animals from a different perspective. I will talk in this video about the spiritual power of animals and the spiritual knowledge. God is guiding me to say this now. I have no idea why God is insisting this morning to talk about animals and to put out these messages. Um, I am very cautious of that because I love dearly the animals, and I think I'm very grateful for my animals because they helped me a lot in my spiritual fighting, and I am not sure. I'm always cautious to share this because I'm always afraid of people who will be taking advantage of animals, like crazy people who didn't do their spiritual work and they will just try to take advantage of animals to get out of bad situations. So personally, wouldn't be my choice to share this information, but it seems like God is very, very insistent on this morning, and God refuses to tell me why. He just says, just do it. So I guess I hope that nobody will take advantage in the wrong way of animals now that I say all this. And that you will be responsible when you take animals and to take care of them and not just use them as a scapegoat or something. But here it goes because God insists on this. I will give this information as well. Um, I also wrote it in my prophetic writings, but in writing, when I do prophetic writing, I have much more liberty of writing more, explaining more. In the videos is more difficult because I have short amount of time, and not always the ideas come to me as I speak. So there are always some issues which I forget to say. So this is why but anyhow, God says to do it. So animals have deep spiritual knowledge. They carry souls in the purest form. Normally, especially with stray animals, wild animals, um, not much programming is done on them. So they have full spiritual knowledge and power, right? Sometimes, unfortunately, people who take pets animals as pets, they do a lot of programming on them through the so-called training, and they strip the animals of their spiritual powers instead of cherishing those qualities. Um, I believe, and that with my dogs, especially with the first dog I got, um, I believe it's important that you learn from animals. In spiritual terms, humans, we have much to learn from animals. They will show you. I learned the first things that I consciously knew and learned about energy and energy awareness. I learned from my dog, Lucky, and who's, for example, I'll give you an example. He's uh, animal embodiment of the soul of one of my children from previous lifetimes. So he's my child's soul. So always God sends to you animals. In those animals, God places souls important to you, who are your either your soulmates or somebody important to you. So it's a deeper connection on a soul level than just a pet. So you should treat him. I mean, my entire family and everybody who knew me in the beginning, they kept saying, you treat him like his own child. He's just an animal. And I kept saying, no, he's not just an animal. He actually is like my child. He is my child, you know. So there is a deeper connection, and people don't really understand this, and they treat them like some puppets who should listen to them and do whatever they want them and stuff like this. When in fact, animals can teach you about your spiritual path. They can show you. They have astral vision, they see in astral. All humans, everyone without exceptions, all of us have gone through programming in our lives by the society, by the school, by the work environment, by the family, by everybody. They enforced concepts upon us. And by that, essentially, what happened was that they affected our natural gifts, spiritual gifts. They inhibited our instincts and stuff like this, right? So they don't go through that normally as animals. They come in very pure form, and they give pure love, which is much healing. And they, by that, their pure love and their purity, they bring light into the environment where they live. They automatically transmute darkness around you through their purity and through their love. So they have and they do tremendous spiritual work just by their mere existence, you know. Um, and if you allow them, they will teach you a lot, and they will open doors for you in spiritual world, in terms, as I said, of energy awareness, spiritual awareness. If you listen to their instincts, uh, this is what I mean, not and you don't just try to train them to do whatever you want them to do and whatever you feel like it's the proper thing to do. Like, for example, um, and it has a deep consequence on those souls, what you do with them, you know. Because, for example, there's a widespread practice of castrating animals. You must understand that that's a soul. As you castrate that animal, that soul will come into next incarnation with this bondage on them, and that is a bondage on uh, of not being able to create children, to procreate. This is really important, and uh, people don't understand that this practice, for example, was instilled and taught with the impulse of dark forces, with the particular purpose of harming these souls. Because as opposed to you as a human, the dark forces know that these animals are very important spiritual fighters in their pure form. So they push you to do the wrong things to them, so you won't allow those animals to preserve their power and to teach you about spirituality and your spiritual path. So it's very important to understand that animals, pets, when you take a pet, you have to understand your responsibility to that, because that pet is a soul. So you imagine that you yourself might be or might have been in a previous life incarnated as animal, and you came like that in order to break a bondage on earth. Sometimes it's the bondage of a generational curse of not being able to incarnate as human, and you still come in order to achieve a purpose here and to break that bondage. Okay, so you must understand. And they are very sensitive to darkness. My animals, my dogs, taught me a lot and showed me and even now they keep showing me, and I notice through them the type of darkness that is being sent to me or to my household, because they react against those. You only feel darkness, but they see darkness. So they see the form of the entity which is being sent to your house or to your courtyard. When you see them barking, they don't bark for nothing. There's no dog that barks for nothing. You must understand. You might not see what he's barking at, but he's barking at something that he sees in astral. Okay, and again, most people only feel the darkness. Most people don't feel even the darkness, don't distinguish. But the sensitive ones, they can feel when darkness is being sent to them. But the animals are a step forward, and they actually see it. They see it with their own eyes. They see the demon, they see the spirit, they see the entity which is being sent to you through dark magic, through sorcery, through necromancy, and so on. So basically, the message that God wanted me to give in this video was about the spiritual knowledge the animals have. And in addition to the previous video where I talk about bondage breaking through animals, this video namely wants to convey the message that animals will teach you and will help you open doors in spiritual world for you to advance on your spiritual path. If you take notice of what they are showing to you, if you look at their reaction with the openness of learning from them instead of putting them in their place and training them to not bark, you know. um, and so this is very important. For me, I am deeply grateful to all my dogs, and I learned especially from Lucky, who's been my first dog, and he went through all my spiritual fighting next to me. And my initial knowledge, conscious knowledge about energy, I started learning consciously about energy because of him, because I was paying attention to his reactions. I was also feeling the darkness being sent. But when I saw his reaction, it was a confirmation for me that this is not just a headache, but this is something that actually is attacking me. And slowly, as you, this is important because as you consciously start to notice these things, then basically you can learn how to clean it, and then you can start seeing it yourself. So you develop the same sensibility of them. They also, through their presence, they dispel darkness around you. Okay, so then that helps you to raise your vibration through that, and also through their pure love, which is healing. And then you advance faster on your path. But I emphasize again, please be mindful. I'm not encouraging people to take pets, don't take care of them, and they're just expecting them to do your spiritual work in your place. I'm pretty sure God has his own purpose, and he knows why he gives me this guidance. I personally wouldn't have chosen to speak about this yet, but it seems like God thinks that somebody can benefit of it. So that's why I'm sharing. But I really ask you, please, don't misuse animals in this, and really learn to understand them, to listen to them, and to learn from them. Because as I said, um, uh, if you really pay attention to them, this will open doors for you, and your progress in terms of energy awareness will advance much faster, much faster. I had energy awareness all my life, but I didn't fully consciously started analyzing it until I got a dog, because I saw in him the reactions at the same things which were hurting me. So I felt sick, and I didn't know to explain it why. I would say a prayer, and that pain would go away. So I knew that there is something dark, but I couldn't think properly exactly what it means until I saw the reaction of my dog. So I was like, no, that then clearly something is here more, and I need to understand what, because it's both my reaction and his reaction. We tend, because of the programming, we tend to say, oh, it's just a headache, I need to take a pill, you know. And it's not a headache, it's a demon being sent to you, you know. And you just don't know, because of programming. You've been programmed that if you have a pain, you take a pill. No, you don't take a pill. You learn about that, what is harming you. And this is the first lesson that my dog taught me, you know, namely to look more into something. They are drawing your attention to things. So it's important to allow them to react according to their own instinct, because that is a lesson and a message they give to you. And if you look into it, then you will discover information about things which normally you would just disregard. Oh, I didn't sleep enough last night, I worked so much, I have a headache. No, it's not just a headache, it's a darkness being sent to you, and you don't have the instinct to look into it and analyze it, because that instinct was taken away from you by programming. People who taught you that pain or feeling sick or something has a physical explanation, when much of it has a spiritual explanation. And if you look at your dog or whatever animal you have, and you analyze his reaction, then he's gonna show you, look more into this. It's not just the pain. It cannot be a pain both to you and to me simultaneously. It's just a foreign presence in the house which is harming both of us. Look more into it. Okay. And the same thing, people that come in contact with them, and they instantly hate them, they bark at them, because those people send darkness to you and you don't know it. Okay. You might know that it's just a neighbor, but the dog will show you that it's not just a neighbor, it's a neighbor who consciously and on purpose comes to send darkness to you. And you will see the reaction the dog has, and he will teach you through that to look more into the topic. So the I guess the message is just pay attention to your pets. If you decide to take a pet, they will show you the way. They will be guides for you in these terms. Of course, there's a higher level of cooperation with animals, but it's um, usually based on soul connections and soul lineage. And there are people, and there. So dogs can actually speak back to humans, but not all humans have the ability to understand what they're saying. When they bark, they actually say something to you. And if you're gifted enough, you can actually understand what they're saying. Fortunately, I am gifted enough, so I can understand what my dogs are saying to me. uh, but that is not out for everyone, and is not something that you decide upon yourself. It's a gift which is given by God to certain people, but for the most majority of people, um, the message is that your animals will be your spirit guides and in spiritual world, and will show you the way of how, what are the things that you need to learn, even if you don't have the gift of talking to them or them talking to you back to explain, but they give you signals. And then if you pay attention to that, you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot. They have a tremendous contribution in many ways to spirituality. I said this through their mere presence. They dispel darkness. They give you healing through their pure love. And they are spiritual fighters. So if you have a dog around you or even a cat, they will fight the darkness around you. And also, equally important, they will guide you what you need to study more, so you can understand what you need to pay attention more to, and then you will understand. And let me say this, you can read about these things, but if you pay attention to your animal and he's guiding you to understand more about something, or is giving you a alarm signal, um, in astral many times is enough to focus on something and ask the question, what is this, what type of effect of attack is this? Once you consciously try to understand it, the answers will come to you. Okay, so the most important thing is that they draw your attention to that, and the second step is for you to ask the question. And of course you ask it to God, because you don't need to be you don't need dark spirits to come to teach you, unless you know how to handle that. But in astral, this is a rule of astral. If you ask, if you question something, and you really establish as an objective to understand that thing which is happening, um, then you will receive the answers. Your spirit guides will answer to you. You open channel of communication with the divine. And if you don't, if you just overlook it and you dismiss it, then you will not understand, even if God himself comes and gives you signals, because this is a rule of astral. You have to ask the question to understand. And also, I emphasize, you must ask it to the right forces. I keep hearing people talking to spirit. What the fuck talking to spirit means? There are also spirits in the darkness and in the underworld. You don't talk to spirit. You talk to God. You talk to a saint. You have names for whom you talk to. You don't talk to spirit, because spirit is also Satan is a spirit too. So if you ask the spirit, maybe Satan will answer to you. So uh, but it's important to understand in astral you ask a question and you start investigating and researching, and you will find the way, you will be led to the answer. Make sure you ask the proper authority in astral from light, so you'll receive an answer which is beneficial to you for your highest good, and not an answer which is diverting you towards darkness and is misguiding you towards darkness. So the message is this, namely that animals are very important spiritual guides present here in 3D, sent by God with this purpose. And you can do much of your spiritual advancement by listening to them, paying attention to them, and creating a bond of pure love, mutual pure love between you and them, and treating them with respect. They're not just a pet with whom you play when you're bored. They are really a soul from your lineage. They might be your child. They might be your parents. They might be somebody from your lineage, which comes specifically to help you. They choose this mission for themselves to come to you to help you. Okay. um, I hope this information will help individuals. I truly hope nobody will misuse the information, and no irresponsible people will not take now animals only to think that all of a sudden they will overcome different obstacles or learn different things to just play along because they are enthusiastic about learning about astral or stuff like this, because I've seen many people like that. So I hope you really understand that this is a soul, and you have the responsibility of how you behave to that soul, which is being sent to you to teach you, to help you, to heal you. Okay, I will close here now. And please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ask questions if you want me to answer, if there is something that I didn't make clear enough. And if you feel like supporting my work, you find in the description box below the information to my PayPal account and gifts and so on. Thank you.